We can squeeze in a couple of more bites here before the break. Grab soundbite 7. This is Fox and Friends today. Reportedly Trump's favorite news show, and maybe Trump's favorite TV show, period. Ainsley Earhardt and Steve Doocy are talking to Senior Vice President of Communications. This is the company spokesman for Boeing. His name is Phil Musser. And they promised a $300 million investment in their employees as a result of tax reform. So Ainsley Earhardt says, what exactly are you going to do here, Mr. Musser?
Our first and most important top-line message from the Boeing company is to say thank you to President Trump, Speaker Ryan, Leader McConnell, and members of Congress who passed this historic, once-in-a-generation tax reform bill that's going to allow us to make a lot more investments that will make us more competitive, that will allow us to compete globally more effectively, invest in research and development, and most importantly, in our most important asset, which is our people. And so the announcement today that our CEO, Dennis Muhlenberg, actually made just as the bill passed into law sends an important message to the American manufacturing and global community about the significance of this bill.
So the Boeing Senior Vice President of Communications goes on Fox and Friends to say, thank you, Mr. President. Obviously, collusion. Obviously, an investigation needed to find out when and where Trump talked to the Boeing people to threaten them to do this or else. That's how leftists think. And just in case the Boeing spokesman felt that nobody heard him, he had more to say. Steve Doocy, Democrats are saying this tax bill's a handout to big companies like you. What do you say to that?
This is like swimming. Our tax code has been like swimming with lead boots. The lead boots are off. We're going to swim faster. Faster swimming, more competition, more opportunity. We're going to be able to grow and win more effectively in the global economy. And we compete against state-subsidized competitors. My message to the president is thank you for this generation-changing opportunity. This is, if you look at the growth in the American economy after the Kennedy tax cuts, after the Reagan tax cuts, and now after the Trump tax cut. What I would say to those who might be skeptical is watch us. Dennis Muhlenberg, our CEO, made a decision to make an immediate investment back in our people and in our economy.
So the Boeing Senior Vice President for Communications wants everybody to know how much Boeing appreciates this, how much they love it, how much they're going to utilize it to grow, to invest in people, hire people, more jobs, thanking the president for it. Does any of this raise a question among some of you? Well, let me explain when he came back. I had a quick time out here at the bottom of the hour. But where are the Democrats in all of this uplifting stuff? No, here's my question, folks. I shouldn't have asked the question of you the way I did. Does something occur to you? Because it would mean you could read my mind. But we just heard two sound bites from essentially the corporate spokesman for Boeing, just rollicking happy, singing the praises of the tax bill, the specifics of it, what it means for Boeing, what it means for people who work at Boeing, what it means for people who do business with Boeing, what it means for the country. And he singled out how important this is because their competitors, their primary competitors, Airbus, which is a state-sponsored conglomerate among European countries, and Airbus is backed by government money. Boeing isn't. Boeing is a capitalistic private entry in the market. They do have, obviously, some government concessions on things like others do, but they're still not subsidized to the tune of Airbus. This is making them more competitive. It's not just Airbus. Trump said today that Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, called him last night. This is so great. This is so great. Kraft's primary business is in paper and boxes, cardboard boxes. That's the Kraft family primary business. Of course, now the Patriots may dwarf it in terms of value, but the Robert Kraft's businesses have always been a great indication of economic activity. I mean, the more boxes, cardboard, paper, so forth they're manufacturing, the greater the economic growth is. And the president said today during the signing ceremony for the tax cut that Bob Kraft called him last night, just happy as could be. He's going to open a new paper plant, construction plant, whatever, in North Carolina. So here you have, wherever you look, the five companies from yesterday, 2 days ago, AT&T, Fifth Third, Wells Fargo, Comcast, now Boeing. I mean, they're all getting in on this, and they're all ecstatic. They're all extremely happy. And it tells me, look at the arduous, competitive circumstances they have been up against for the last 30 years. And with somebody like Obama in office, it was understood there was never going to be a tax cut. So they had to do what they could do to make their businesses function easier, and that was corporate crony capitalism sidle up to Obama as best they could. Obama was not the kind of guy you wanted mad at you. You know, so you get cozy, you sidle up, you pretend you want to do business with him like the GE people did, and what you end up with is crony capitalism or crony socialism, and that's not good for anybody involved. But that's what happens when you have a potentially autocratic, punitive leader. Now you have Trump, who is essentially just removing impediments, removing roadblocks. You know, getting all the things in people's way out of their way so that growth and investment and opportunity is up to them. Regulations are falling by the wayside. They're all happy about it. Now, over here, outside all of that is the Democrat Party mad as they can be, livid. Instead of trying to get in on this, instead of trying to get in on what is going to be a newfound prosperity, on a new round of economic growth, instead of trying to get in on this, they are purposely standing aside. They're fuming and they're mad, and they're trying to make as many other people mad as they can. And they're using their buddies in the media to lie about how bad this is and about nobody is going to really get a tax cut. This is all a lie that Trump is telling. And that lie is going to be exposed starting in February when people see larger paychecks. Now, we had a caller earlier this week who basically asked me in his own words why the Democrats are not interested in supporting policies that would make their voters more prosperous. And I had an answer. The answer is the same today as it was then, and it's going to be the same next year. The Democrats don't want individuals prospering if government isn't involved. The Democrat Party has built a political party around identity and victimhood. As many people as they can make into victims, they do. Once you, as a Democrat or as a voter, as a human being, once you believe yourself to be a victim, then you immediately have no control over your life. By definition, when you're a victim, everything that happens to you is somebody's fault. Everything that happens to you is outside your control. You're helpless. You're a victim. You're a victim of evil Republicans, evil capitalists, evil what have you. The Democrats position themselves as the saviors of all of these identity groups and victims. And if there is prosperity to be had, if there are rising standards of living, it better be traceable to government. It better be traceable to a government program. It better be traceable to something that Democrats say they're responsible for, or it doesn't count. Bottom line is the Democrats don't want their voters, other than the super rich donors in Hollywood and New York. But the average, ordinary Democrat voter, Democrats don't want them to prosper unless it's because of a government program or government action that's directly traceable to the Democrat Party. That reality just, it stuns me. Why would a political party actively want to sit out on this kind of excitement? Now, I understand we want to sit out the things that make them excited. But the things that make them excited are not beneficial to us. The things that excite them are punitive to us. The things that excite them end up harming us, primarily by virtue of the growth of government and the loss of little individual bits of liberty and freedom here and there. Such things as versus climate change to net neutrality, whatever the issue that can grow government, whatever the issue that can give government more control over everything in the country because individuals can't be trusted with it. Well, we don't sidle up to that, and we don't want any part of that because that's injurious to us. But this isn't. injurious to anybody. Keeping more of what you earn is not injurious. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't damage you. Encouraging prosperity, promoting liberty, promoting self-reliance, rugged individualism, promoting the pursuit of happiness doesn't hurt anybody. But in the Democrat world, it does. In the Democrat world, that's a non-starter. So in the midst of all of this outpouring of happiness and encouragement and excitement over the tax cut, what do we get from the Democrats? That they're going to win the House in 2018 because of this. They're going to win the House because people don't like this. And they're going to win the House because we hate Trump. People hate Trump. Trump's hated. You know, I think you people better look again, because I don't think that the country sees Donald Trump today the way they saw him 9 months ago. And I don't think they see him at all the way you do. And you better make tracks on getting with it, because you're about to be left behind in a gigantic stampede. I should shut up and not give them any heads